welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Charles. Today, I want to talk about sober anniversaries. They're called Soberversaries, sober birthdays. And I'm talking about, your sober birthday, not your belly button birthday, right? So on February 27th, I will have 10 years. And it's been a long road for sure. The hardest yet most important, impactful thing I've ever done in my life. I've been able to turn my life around completely, So I wanted to talk today about some different ways that you can celebrate your sober anniversary. I think a really fun one right off the bat is going to a meeting to pick up time. Now, I'm here in Colorado, and in CA, Cocaine Anonymous, they have a meeting here in Denver that's called Nirvana in CA. And if you got to pick up time, that's the meeting to go to. There's probably like 300 people, I would guess, in the basement of a church, and everybody's hooping and hollering, and everybody's all stoked for you, and it's super cool. So that's a really fun one. But, kind of the overarching theme here with this topic is being able to take the time to celebrate our wins. Sometimes we can get carried away in all the daily life stuff we have to do, and oh, this isn't going right, and that's not going right, and I don't want to drive all the way to a meeting just to get a chip and this and that. But I'm going to argue that for your mental health, for everyone's mental health, I think it's a really important thing to stop for a moment and plant our flag, right? And victoriously reclaim that part of our life and celebrate what we've been able to do with our time, and no matter how much time you have, right? Even if you got 24 hours, right? That's the most important start. That's the most important amount of time you can get is those first 24 hours, So if you get that, keep going. It just keeps getting better, So I think meetings are a really fun way to do that. If you have a home group, which is, a meeting that you go to weekly pretty consistently, right? You stay after, you're part of the group conscience, you kind of, you're in the middle of the boat, as they say, right? You're an active participant in the meeting and all that stuff. Home groups can be a fun place to celebrate birthdays too. I've seen people bring in cakes for somebody's birthday. I've seen them, give coins. Like I shoot in a pool league, and one of my buddies over there, he and I are going to be exchanging coins, right? He got, I believe it was 20 years, something like that. So I got him a nice special coin, and he had mentioned that he's going to get me a coin for my 10-year, and it's kind of a cool bonding experience. I mean, you meet somebody else in recovery, and it's almost like meeting a war vet. If you're a war vet, right? It's like your brothers or sisters, and being able to recognize that you both have been through some stuff, but you figured out how to make it through, how to come out the other side, a whole person, so it's definitely an important thing to celebrate those. And I mean, yeah, you can go have a special dinner. You can go do, you could even go big, go on a trip, like whatever you can do, whatever you want to do. It could be something small as well. The point is, when we look back over our week or our month or year, right? It's important to see these little moments where we're able to pause and celebrate ourselves. We're able to show some pride in all the really hard work that we've been doing in recovery, because it's not easy, and sometimes we need that, extra push, right, to continue. And I think being able to look back and say to ourselves, oh man, that was so much fun. Yeah, we went out, my home group and we went out after the meeting and had dinner, and they got me a coin, and oh, that was so much fun. So it's important to balance those out, because there's enough things in life that we have to do, and this and that and blah, blah, blah. The things that we can do that are positive and building for ourselves, uplifting, it's important to really highlight those. So I have a couple ideas here. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So another thing you could do. No. So this guy, I made this when I was in treatment. Now, when I was in treatment, we did art therapy. This was part of art therapy, right? So this is an owl. I'm going to hold him up so you can see him a little better. This is an owl whose feet are stuck in tar, right? Black tar, you know what I mean? And his eyes are covered in tar. He can't see, he can't escape, none of that, right? But through recovery, he's gained some fire wings and he's gained some fire eyebrows, and he's beating his wings and, letting the fire get down and burn the tar so he can escape and get free, right? So this is what I made back then. So you could recreate something like this for your own recovery story, obviously, but, it could be you go to, I don't know exactly the name of one, but you go there and you can make bowls or cups or whatever, but you can go there and make whatever you want, so you don't have to be in treatment. This could be something you do kind of after the fact, or for your sober birthday, right? You could go with some buddies or your sponsor and make something like this. And then I took that, and for another Soberversary, I went and I had this made. So if you can see, that's, the same, he's got the same little jewels in his wings over here that represent the fire. He's got the same core, which is my favorite color of green, and you can make something special, because at the end of the day, that's the point. We can take a experience in our life that was at times god awful, right? Draining, didn't think we were going to get out, all kinds of stuff, right? We can take that pain, we can take that experience, that knowledge, and we can grow from it, right? We can use it as strength. We can take these memories and these things and make them special, and it might seem like a small thing, right? Oh, you make a clay thing, oh, turn into a wire wrap, right? But it's really not, it's really not a small thing, because even now when I look back on these two items right here, it makes me really proud of my recovery. It makes me feel really positive about my life and where I'm heading, and being able to turn around and give back. And there's a whole story attached to these items here. So, if you want more ideas and more examples and stuff, I also have an episode called Nerding Out in Your Recovery. So there's some other ideas in there. The last one that I want to show you is kind of a special one. So this is also for birthdays. So this is a whole necklace. And I got this silver dollar when I left treatment. And for those of you counting, I know I got a couple holes to make up. But anyway, when you hit a year, you get a silver dollar like this, right? And then for each additional year, you drill a hole in there, right? So the idea is eventually you're going to have a piece of Swiss cheese, but a coin, And again, it's just something special that we can do. So I took this coin, and I ended up having it wire wrapped to look like kind of a dream catcher sort of thing. And, you can wear it or just have it on the wall or whatever you want to do. But, again, it's taking this experience, it's making a positive out of some very dark and negative things that happen in our life. And for me, that's the way that I've been able to draw a line in the sand and say, that was the old me. This is the new me. Excuse me. This is the new me, right? And the new me is about this, and that. We can continue to prove to ourselves that we're new people, and, we deserve forgiveness. We deserve good things in life and all that. And the more that we can separate from that old version of us and make a new life that's so much better than the old one, we don't even think about going back, the better. And this is all part of that, being able to make some new memories and have some new experiences with these things is really important, because we, there can be times in recovery when the road gets tough, right? Just because we get clean and sober doesn't mean that, the problems of the world stop, right? It doesn't mean that our own problems stop, right? It's just we have a new way to work on them, right? We have a new way to, show up differently, respond differently, everything, and that's kind of the idea with all this stuff, So if you have some items like that for your recovery, nerd out on them, get all creative, get all artistic if you're into that, and go hit some meetings. Let some people in on your recovery. I think a lot of people, especially in that first year, I did an episode about the first year as well, actually, but I think a lot of people in the first year, they hide their recovery, right? They still feel ashamed. They still feel guilt. They still feel a lot of things, right? So they don't talk about it. They just, quietly go to a meeting. They sit there. They don't say anything. But in my opinion, when you do that, you're not really letting other people in, right? For a long time, we were closed off and our arms were closed, right? We want to open up. We want to let people in. We want to let new experiences in, and being able to celebrate our wins and, give ourselves that self-love, that compassion, that respect. I mean, those are super important, because that can affect our little inner critic too, So the more that we can do these kinds of positive things for ourselves and encourage ourselves in our recovery to keep moving forward, the better. So if you're celebrating a birthday out there as well, congratulations. I'm super proud of you, and just keep at it, keep at it. And if you need something, you got to open up and ask. You can't wait for somebody to call you and check on you. You got to pick that phone up and say, hey, I'm struggling, or hey, it's my birthday. I got 60 days. Let's go have some dinner. Let's go celebrate, like let people in, open up, because I can tell you over my 10 years, I will tell my story to anybody who wants to hear, and probably a few who don't want to hear it, but I'll tell them anyway. And I have yet to meet a single person who has had anything negative to say whatsoever, because I used to think to myself in my early recovery, oh, if I open up about this, they're going to judge me, and oh, you're a little junkie, and blah, 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 right? It's never happened. Never happened. So, knowing that some of our worries and fears and all of that are just built up in our own minds is important. All right. Some of it's not true. Some of it we are, overreacting based on what we assume to be the case, what we think is probably the case. But it's better to rely on just fact, So if you have a birthday, enjoy, go celebrate. Keep on keeping on, and if you know someone who has a birthday coming up as well, give them a call, say hi, let them know that their recovery is important to you. Take them out for a cup of coffee, right? Whatever it is. So, thank you guys, and I look forward to the next one. Thanks for stopping by.